Good morning. I just got back to my apartment. I had my car appointment this morning, and now I am about to log on to listen to the Spina Bifida dates, and Danny and I go on in about an hour for our talk, so it's gonna be fun. I'm wearing my Spina Bifida warrior sweatshirt, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, we're gonna check out some of the other speakers here. So I thought I would show one of the aspects of my Spina Bifida that I work on every day to try to improve, and that is with my feet. I do have feeling in my feet, but the range of motion is not exactly there. And so, for example, one of the things, like I can push down like that, but like going up, my one toe wants to do it, but the rest don't, and like the range of motion in my ankle is not there. But one of the things that I've really been working on is spreading the toes, and so like that's kind of what I'm trying to do there. But it just shows how much muscle I have to use. I mean, you can see it in my toe and going up my leg, how much muscle I use to do such little movement, and not movement, but strength. You know what I'm talking about. But I will say I am grateful for what I am able to do with my feet so far, and you know, that's the point of progress. And so that was just one of the things I wanted to mention for World Spina Bifida Day, is that there always are going to be challenges or difficulties that you are experiencing, but that's part of life. You are always going to overcome something. There's always going to be the next challenge to tackle. And I honestly, in the beginning, I think I was a little bit more frustrated with it because I want to have more range of motion. I want to not drag my feet, but the way I see it now, it's a learning experience. Yes, it's frustrating at times, it is, but once you figure out different ways of accomplishing that goal, or at least getting a step closer to that goal, you learn so much about yourself. And that is how I'm seeing my journey now. And it's just really helped me shape my focus. And I still get frustrated with myself, of course, but it also helps lessen the amount of time that I'm frustrated. I get frustrated and then I start planning, and I said, no, okay, I can do A, B, and C, and I will get there then. And I think that a lot of people could use that in a lot of aspects in their life. So, for example, just because I might not have a lot of range of motion in my feet or my toes, doesn't mean that I can't stop trying to get any sort of range of motion back. Just remember that every step closer is a step in the right direction. So keep going. Happy World Spina Bifida Day. So right now they're talking about bowel function and different things related to that. It is interesting to hear, and even though it doesn't directly relate to me, I do find it interesting to learn and hear about other people's perspectives and different aspects of that sort.
Constant pressure can sometimes cause erosion, so when you're pushing against some tissue for a long period of time, that tissue tends to get thinner, and so sometimes it can break down.
Frequent, regular CIC. That might require probably more catheters than is standard. Have you at times had to write letters for parents or patients?
So they just finished that first session and now they are doing a break, but I wasn't sure if I actually said this in the beginning, but we are doing this in part with the Spina Bifida of Kansas. We met them last year when we went down there and we spoke with Ginger and everybody down there. So we are really grateful for this opportunity to be able to share our story, just share about independent living with Spina Bifida and everything that, you know, we've kind of dealt with till this point and now what we're dealing with in our adulthood. So I am just hanging out here, you know, waiting for our panel to start, but I don't know. I've just been thinking about my journey with Spina Bifida so far and everything that I've been able to do, and it's pretty remarkable when you really think about it.
Tonight we're talking about post-repair. Something surgical has been done, like closing a myelomeningocele or removing the original lipoma, and then what's the problem after that? So your questions, when you group them into themes, one is in general stuff about hydrocephalus, managing hydrocephalus, and what does that have to do with tetanus?
So fun fact, I have both
up,
myelomeningocele and hydrocephalus, which is basically water on the brain.
Presence of spinal fluid in the center of the spinal cord, also called a spinal cord cyst, also called hydromyelia. And how does that relate to the spinal cord tethering, which I'll go into as this topic. The Chiari malformation, specifically the one in, and then a lot of folks also have an associated leg pain pattern. And it's not a single joint or something like that. They'll usually, it's reminiscent of what adults with, disc problems and sciatica will say. So we'll have something like a 7-year-old who's saying, my back hurts and the bottom of my
This is talking about tethered cord syndrome and difficulties that come with that.
On both sides of my butt and both thighs, or one buttock and one knees. So
we have a half hour before I go on. I'm kind of practicing what I'm going to say. We just had a little chat about our introductions and how things are going to go, and
a lot of infants
we're almost there. It's getting close.
So I think it's worth looking at all.
So I thought something
another question
was interesting that they just said,
a 19-year-old
which
patient
is
had undergone
that most individuals with myelomeningocele MMC have Chiari. I probably pronounced that wrong, sorry. But I do not have that, and a lot of the symptoms or complications that they're talking about with myelomeningocele, I also do not have those. And so with Spina Bifida, it's really, being that it's a snowflake disability, the cases differ so much. So one individual might have all of these and another does not. So I'm just finding this really interesting and it's something to learn about.
My name is Ginger O'Dwyer, and I am the founder of a local nonprofit organization here in Kansas City. And I, like you, love someone with Spina Bifida, or maybe you are that someone with Spina Bifida. So I'm really glad you guys are here today. We've got a wonderful presentation that Angela Bright is going to share with us here momentarily. But I wanted to first let you know a little bit about my SBC, which is the acronym for our nonprofit here in Kansas City called My Spina Bifida Community. We are actually formerly known as Spina Bifida Kansas. We just became incorporated a little over 2 years ago, and kind of started out in my brain about 5 years ago when we were raising money locally for some wheelchair dance classes here in Kansas City, and we started this really fun parade called Happy Wheels. And of course we did it in October every year in Olathe, Kansas, and that is where I had the pleasure of meeting the next young lady here that on our panel that I'm going to introduce first. her name is Mitra Nahabandi. And Mitra, I'm sorry that Denise butchered it earlier. I did not give her a heads up on that. But yes, Mitra Nahabandi and I met, and I'm so blessed that we met last year in Kansas City. And I'm just going to let you talk, Mitra, and introduce yourself.
All right, thank you, Ginger. So like she said, my name is Mitra. I am 30 years old and I was born...
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
Is anyone else having a hard time hearing her? Can you get a little closer to the microphone, maybe?
Yeah, and I'm also turning it up.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you. My name is Mitra. I am 30 years old and I was born with myelomeningocele. I live in downtown Madison, Wisconsin, independently in an apartment. And I currently work for a company that supports adults with disabilities in their home. And my roles vary between in-home care as well as office work.
Excellent. Thank you, Mitra. I'm also going to introduce our next panelist, who is an adult living with spina bifida here in Kansas City. I am friends with his mom that we met at a Missouri organization several years back at one of their annual rock and rolls. This is John Coots.
Hey guys, I'm John Coots. I'm 20 years old in Kansas City. I currently live home with my parents. As of yesterday, I'm unemployed because next month I am going to go to school for welding.
Awesome, John. That's excellent. Going to be a welder. I'm seeing a lot more of these. What do they call them? Not universities, but like tech schools popping up at different places, and I think that's so important. Where have you worked at in the past?
I worked at a grocery store.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on our panel. We appreciate it. Our last guest is a gentleman. I'll let him tell you where he's at currently, but I also had the pleasure of meeting him.
But I think having those open, honest conversations, I hope, and Mitra, if you have any perspective on that too, because I think ultimately, you have to advocate for yourself and your health.
Oh, here we go. And this is for track 2. And this time, the title of track 2 is, hold on a sec. There's the link for track 2, and the track 2 link name is. This is the session on sexuality for young adults, and it's going to be
for a long time.
So
After I
the
joined
session
the team
went great.
with the Paralympic sports,
Now my friend
I also
Miranda
joined my
is
high
on
school
here
track team.
talking about her story.
I got to go with them to meets and stuff just alongside the runners. They didn't have a wheelchair track team at my high school particularly, but I got to participate alongside them and go with them to races that they competed in. At our first event
So
last
we're
summer,
done. Well, they're doing the closing
yeah.
remarks, but
Wait, let me run through it. What is this photo?
it was an amazing experience.
this
I
is
got to
also
share
my team.
my journey,
this
Danny's
is the last
journey.
time, this was right before I
Sorry,
moved to college, and so this
my
was our
computer's
last
talking to me.
time together.
But it was an overall amazing experience, and
So how did you
getting
get
to
the
see
special
people
equipment
I haven't seen
and
since
races
last year, so stay tuned for day 2
Thankfully,
tomorrow.
the Youth Paralympic sport.
I'm also just going to be real with you. I was going to work out here, which I still am going to work out, but I have the worst headache still, and so I am just going to give myself a couple minute break, chill out on the couch, and hopefully get this workout done. And I've had water, I've had food, so we're just going to feel this headache for now. But stay tuned for the rest of this weekend's festivities. Good morning, friends, and happy World Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Day. Really going slow this morning, but I've been kind of hopping on and off of the SBA Live and still figuring out what we are doing for this afternoon. I might be going on, I might not be. But either way, it's going to be a great day, and I'm going to kind of take you a little bit on my day today, show you some of the lives that are going on and the presentations, and just a little bit about me, or not necessarily about me all the time, but about Spina Bifida, Hydrocephalus, and yeah, let's get started. So I'm listening to the SBA Walk and Roll Live. Today it's kind of be a little bit different. I was supposed to go on a little later and do a warm-up, but complications kind of arose this morning. I woke up with a terrible headache, and so I just don't feel the best to go on and speak. So I am having my friend Adam, who we were going to tag team it, but turns out only one of us can be on video at a time, so I am delegating that role to him today, and hopefully I will be able to record that later for everybody. But today I am kind of just going to take it easy, check in with this Facebook Live that's happening all day, and probably give you some random facts about Spina Bifida, but you know, I'm just taking today as is, and we are running with it, rolling with it, walk and roll. Here's a guest speaker. Unfortunately, I was gonna say I forgot his name, but Dr. Jonathan Castillo. I'm sorry if I just said that wrong, but I apologize. So I'm just checking in with a couple people, tagged a bunch of friends in my Instagram post to raise more awareness for Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Day. So if you haven't, you should go check it out. My Instagram is at my beautiful Bifida life. There's some underscores in there. I will also have it in the description of this video for anybody who is interested, as well as including Danny's. Don't think I forgot. So we'll come back with the next speaker in just a little while. So they're talking about sleep and Spina Bifida. I was just talking to some friends about I don't sleep very well.
Or daytime tiredness, even if families don't hear snoring, then I recommend seeing sleep medicine or pulmonary medicine doctor. Do I see a lot of kids who are picky eaters?
My friend Sarah.
And the answer to that is yes. I think many children with Spina Bifida are pickier eaters than other kids, though picky eating is actually not.
This time for people with disabilities. In danceforallbodies.org or in social media at danceforallbodies. Thank you. Today we're gonna be doing some salsa. Salsa is usually done in an upright position in 8 counts, but my version of salsa, we're gonna take those 8 counts to shake and move our body in our own way. So we're gonna start shaking our torso. If you are using a chair, please start finding a shaking your torso using 4 count. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can use your chair as a support. Forward and back. Just that. Also, we're gonna be using gestures. So we're gonna be using swinging, right and left, right and left. Also, we're gonna be rolling, rolling, and rolling, and rolling. This movement, notice that you can do them just with one side of your body. And shake, and shake.
Dancing.
Forward and back. Yeah, yeah. And shake, 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 shake. Forward and back. And forward, back. Now we're gonna swing right and left. Swing right and left. You can shake, 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 shake.
It's like a dance workout.
Swing.
Anybody can do this.
And find your shake, 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 then right, left. You can shake, 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 then swing, 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 swing. Find your shake, and then you swing. Now we're gonna roll. We shake, 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 then we roll. Then we roll. Find your shake, find your shake, find your shake, then roll and roll. Shake, 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 roll and roll. One more time. And roll.
It was really interesting because before this dance session,
Now we're gonna fly. Roll,
there was a speaker, I believe he was a doctor, who was talking about the correlation between spina bifida and sleep. And I was just talking about that to a friend, and I really think that that's interesting. And so I'm going to be looking into it more. I don't know how directly correlated the two factors are, but I know for myself, I don't fall asleep easily. If I wake up during the night, it takes me a while to fall back asleep, and I know I toss a lot, whether that's pain or just my brain going off. So I'm excited to look into that a little bit more and just see what I can figure out, if I can figure out a new path to take. A lot of what I'm doing right now is the holistic approach and mindset aspect, and so it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to doing that this week, at least to get the next step in that process. Even if I'm not dancing right now, this is a fun time. I mean, come on. Who doesn't like this dancing? Here's the music.
Roll. And find your roll. And find your roll. Roll. And roll, stretch. Stretch. Stretch and stretch. Oh, here we go.
So he's just promoting movement. You just do what you can. If you have to adaptive movement, that's perfectly fine. You just gotta find what works for you to be able to move your body in any way.
Shake, shake. Come on, you can roll. Roll and then turn.
Yeah, so instead of turning, you just use your head.
Roll, go.
I think that's perfect.
And turn. And now we swing. Right, left, right and left. Keep moving and
I need this guy's energy sometimes.
Right, left. And roll and stretch. Roll and stretch. Keep going.
So of course, like any technology, we are having some technical difficulties, and so far it's just spinning. But I was trying to watch a Zumba. I will show you. It's not much to see because it's spinning, but I'll still show you the screen. So this is my view. And I'm hoping, you know, it'll show up eventually, but it's adapted Zumba with Shannon in Florida. I've never actually done Zumba. I have a friend who has, so it might be interesting. I was looking forward to seeing this. Just kidding. Now that it refreshed, it went to Bill Walker. But
participating in this exciting national
we'll check him out.
Day, 2020 style, any style any of us have for anything we've worked on in a very long time. So hopefully everyone has had a great day. I hear there's been great participation and people interested. So we'll try and get started and answer a few questions. There are some questions I seem to get asked on a pretty frequent basis about children with spina bifida by parents. I will admit that I've probably learned more from parents than I have ever taught anybody, but because I think parents are pretty creative. I've spent a lot of time in talking with families and parents about sometimes reframing questions or concerns that they have. And I think there's always a couple of big areas, and often the families will want to ask questions about their child walking or not walking. And I've always tried to frame that question more in terms of mobility. That is, how do we help children get around rather than focusing on how they do it, but making sure they do it. And I think also thinking about that in terms of what's developmentally appropriate.
So on that topic, I just want to interject here that it is very important how you word something or how you ask a question of somebody with a disability, especially a physical disability, whether you are just curious about their wheelchair, their walking aids, crutches, canes, walker, etc. How you word it and the tone, I guess, of your voice and how you come across, that really can make all the difference. For me personally, I'm an open book, so if someone has a question about why I'm all of a sudden using walking sticks when I don't usually, I mean, I'll explain, I'll talk to you about that, and I'm more than happy to have that conversation. I do think though, when you ask, how long are you going to be in that chair, or how long are you going to have to use those set such a negative tone and negative mindset, and even though that might not be the intention, in general, that is the road that it leads to. And so for me, I mean, I guess for anybody with spina bifida, it is terminal because it's not going to go away. We're going to live with spina bifida for the rest of our life, and you know, you just make do with what you have. And if that means that getting myself from point A to point B, I have to use a walking stick for a couple minutes or a whole day or an hour out of my day, so be it. That's what I have to do to get through my day pain-free, safely. If I want to be independent, I can use the walking stick to get up and down some stairs. Still, some are difficult, but it allows me to have some independence, and I think that should be the ultimate goal. It doesn't matter how you get there, it doesn't matter the route you have to take to get there, but we should be supporting and promoting all of those routes, no matter what it looks like, because it's going to look different to each person. So I think we should just be accepting and understanding that everybody has their differences, and that's kind of what makes the world unique.